Hey there, my name is Michelle Medlock Adams, and I'm an author of over 100 books. Many of those are actually children's books, and there's one I'd like to share with you today to celebrate reading. This is a book that's very special to me. It's about birds, and I don't know about you, but I love birds. In fact, I just came in from feeding our birds outside. I have like 9 feeders set up. That's how much I love to feed the birds. But this is about a brother and sister, Gracie and Bennett, and a cardinal family. So it's called Fly High. It's written by myself and my co-author, Janet Johnson, and it's published by InGame Press. And our illustrator who did all the beautiful artwork, her name is Beth Snyder. So I hope you enjoy Fly High. It's a very important book, I feel. Gracie and Bennett loved helping Mama fill the bird feeders and clean the bird bath. Every day, more birds visited their backyard. Doves, robins, sparrows, wrens, pigeons, red-winged blackbirds, blue jays, cardinals, even the occasional downy woodpecker. But cardinals were Gracie's favorite. They're my favorite too. How about you? I love red birds. Look, Mama said. Do you see them? See what? Bennett asked. The baby birds. There are 3 of them. Gracie ran into the house, grabbed her binoculars, and bolted back to her mother's side. I'm going to watch over the baby birds until their mama returns, Gracie announced. And there are the baby birds. That night, Gracie worried. I never saw the mama bird return to her nest, and I watched a long time. I'm sure she was just getting food for her babies, Mama said. Sleep tight, sweetie. But Gracie couldn't sleep. You ever had nights when you can't sleep because you're worried? Yeah. That next morning, they found Mama Bird lying outside the fence. She was hurt. Oh no, Gracie cried. Bennett, go get Mama. Mama placed the injured bird in a box and moved her to a safe place. Then she hurried inside to call a veterinarian. Gracie put her arm around Bennett and they sat next to the box. There's Mama. It seems like hours since Mama had taken the injured bird to the vet. Gracie kept an eye on the baby birds while Bennett practiced his best bird calls. Finally, the back door opened. Mama reached out her arms and pulled Gracie in for a very long hug. I'm so sorry, sweetie. Dr. Bob did all he could. Sometimes these things just happen. I don't understand, Gracie cried. Bennett dropped to his knees. It's not fair, he yelled. Why couldn't the doctor fix her? Gracie buried her face in Mama's hug, trying hard to hold back her tears. It is kind of sad sometimes, isn't it? When things happen that we're not expecting. Bennett kicked over their birdseed container as he ran into the house. Gracie took off her binoculars and threw them. They landed next to the empty box. Then she followed her brother. Mama cleaned at the birdseed and picked up the binoculars. She wasn't mad. She understood. Because sometimes when we lose somebody, we get mad. It happens. Gracie and Bennett slept inside a tent made of blankets in Gracie's bedroom that night. Being together somehow made them feel better. Do you think the baby birds are going to be all right without their mama? Bennett asked. Absolutely, Gracie whispered. Absolutely. But she really wasn't sure. You ever slept in a tent or a fort made of blankets? It's kind of fun. When the first glimmer of sunlight shone through the window, Gracie hurried to the backyard with Bennett close behind. We have to find a way to help the baby birds, Gracie yelled. I need my binoculars. Mama smiled and handed them to Gracie. Gracie pressed binoculars to her eyes and gasped. The daddy cardinal is in the nest. He's feeding the baby birds. Let me see, Bennett urged. Mama, Gracie, and Bennett watched the daddy cardinal and his babies all day. He would fly to the suet feeder, peck off a piece of food, and then fly back to the babies and feed them. Other times he would fly to the ground and grab a worm in his beak and feed the worm to his babies. Gracie and Bennett spent the next few days watching the daddy cardinal care for his young. They did their part too. Gracie made sure there was plenty of suet in the feeders, and Bennett made sure the bird bath had lots of water. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Watch it, Gracie called to Bennett. You're getting me all wet. Bennett giggled. Gracie couldn't help but giggle too. It's getting her with the hose, you see. Can we name the baby birds, Mama? Gracie asked. Yes, as long as you understand when the babies are strong enough, they're going to fly away. Gracie and Bennett stared at their feathered friends and tried to think of the perfect names. I've got it, Gracie announced. Let's name one Sky, since that's the goal to fly into the sky. And we should name the other one Zoe, because I learned in school that Zoe means life, and we want them to live. What about the third baby bird? Bennett asked. Hmm. How about Hope? Gracie asked, because everybody needs hope. Bennett smiled. I think Mama Bird would like that. They all are. As days turned to weeks, the baby cardinals grew stronger. Gracie knew it wouldn't be long before they were ready to leave their nest forever. You know, we're going to have to say goodbye to them soon, Gracie told Bennett. But I don't want them to go, he cried. I know it's hard to say goodbye, Mama said, just like it was hard when we had to say goodbye to the mama bird. But it's almost time for them to fly. And there they are. See, they're getting bigger. One morning, Gracie and Bennett raced outside like usual to watch the daddy cardinal care for Sky, Zoe, and Hope. But he wasn't there. And the babies were outside the nest, perched on a branch, looking so big. Just then, Sky flapped her wings, and in an instant, she was in the air. Zoe and Hope did the same. We'll miss you, Bennett called. Fly high, Gracie whispered. Make your mama proud. You two sure have made me proud, Mama said. Come on, help me fill the bird feeders and put fresh water in the bird bath. That night, Gracie and Bennett crawled into their blanket tent. I miss Sky, Zoe, and Hope already, Bennett whispered. Me too, Gracie said, but it makes my heart smile knowing they are happy, doing what birds do, flying free and flying high. Gracie, do you think Mama Bird knows we watched over her babies and that they're okay? Bennett asked. Absolutely, Gracie answered. Absolutely. And there they are making, have you ever done that with shadows? You can use your hands to make bird wings. Yeah. So I'm going to read the note at the end because this is a great book if you're sad because maybe somebody that you love has passed away or you haven't really understood all the feelings you're going through. Here's a note in the back. It says it takes time to heal from the loss of a loved one or to deal with a tragedy, and it's okay to feel sad. Choosing to trust and let go of the pain allows you to remember good times and eventually understand that life goes on. After all the shock, denial, sadness, bargaining, and anger, you'll learn to live your life in a new way with precious memories of your loved one. You'll learn it's okay to be happy, and you'll accept the loss, and in time you'll heal. Like Sky, Zoe, and Hope flew high into the sky to their new lives, it's important to remind yourself that while your loved one will be missed, you can always keep them in your memories and in your heart. And that way you'll never be very far apart. That's in the back. And then I just wanted to point out in this book, though I didn't read all of them, every single spread, which is every single page, has some text that's written in a different color. So the story is there's the picture, and then the story you can see it's always in black, and then in this kind of a muted red color. I don't know if you can see it very well on camera. In this muted red color is what we call a layered text, and so it's explaining sort of what you might be feeling, and it asks some questions that you might want to think through about what happens when somebody we love passes away. So that's a good thing to have your teacher read with you or your parents. But I think this is a very important book, Fly High. We're really happy to have written it. It was needed. I actually wrote this book after my brother-in-law passed away in 2020 because I couldn't find a book that really said what I wanted it to say about this particular kind of a sad event. And so we just wrote one. And Jan Johnson, who is my co-author, is a specialist dealing with grief, especially with kids. So if you're hurting inside or you've lost somebody and you're still feeling kind of angry about it, I encourage you to talk to your teachers or your school counselor or somebody that you can trust, and maybe grab a copy of this book and read through it time and time again. I think it'll bring you comfort. All right. Well, happy reading to you. I think it's wonderful that you're reading and celebrating reading today. Thanks so much. Bye.